it hadn't yet been forwarded to the police department.
Thank you, Chair. In best of my collections, I think, and also my evidence yesterday was that this is where we were discussing the processes. The legal opinion, as we were reading it, it was confirming some of the things that needs to be done.
Sorry, maybe if I can assist you in that regard, can we go to 2043, or just keep this bundle open, but 2043 of the annexure bundle, oh no, it's the same file, page 2043 of the same file. It should be file 6, because I think that is the legal opinion that we're talking about, and it might help. Your file 6 of 6, 2043.
Yes, we were summarizing the issues that were discussed regarding that, the legal opinion, which it talked to, I think in page 2043, it was talking to the description, for instance, of the employees that were vetted, and activities that happened, and so forth and so forth. The following page, it was about the EMPD reports, the master fingerprints results, and so forth, and then the questions to be answered. If I can go straight to those questions, the first one on page 2044, paragraph 4, that for the sake of clarity and convenience in application of the law to the facts, we will categorize the employees, those who are acquired criminal convictions prior to employment, those who acquire criminal convictions during employment, and those who acquired pending criminal cases during employment. I think we all understand the challenges at EMPD and IPD, where they would be found with criminal cases while at their work time. Those who were declared unfit to possess a firearm during employment in the city, and those who failed to submit their fingerprints. Then they came and discussed the law facts to the issue where employees who acquired conviction, how we should deal with, and the processes that we needed to follow, including disciplinary hearings. I'm summarizing, Chair, that we need to have, especially where you are declared unfit to hold a firearm, and so forth and so forth. So at a high level, my recollection was in that meeting, then we needed to come with a process of embarking on these different categories. And also, I've said yesterday that the issue of getting consent and the expungement where it's required. So this is what we were finalizing after they've given us the categories that they had. So we're just cleaning the house. I then further, we agreed that HR doesn't have capacity to hold, to conduct that process. Therefore, they will have to source it and get it done by themselves. But then they keep myself and the accounting officer abreast. And as I said yesterday, again in the meeting, you could find the back and forth among themselves, back and forth. Others are suggesting this process, others are suggesting that process. So the email of Lifu was focusing on that, Chair, that what process we're supposed to follow and what we're agreeing that needs to be done. And I would like to reiterate from what I said yesterday, there were challenges, because some of them said, I already have this, I don't need to do it, but you are pushing that others must be done, and the issues of capacity that we discussed. I think that's what I can recall at this point in time. Thank you, Evidence Leader.
Thank you. If we continue in the chronology, it goes to the top of page 2066. where you then write shortly after the email from Lifu, you write to Chief Mapiye and Revo Spis copying Julius Mkhwanazi. Dear Chief and Revo, please provide us a report regarding the category of employees as you explained in our meeting. Also find attached the legal opinion so you proceed with your internal proceedings. And what were you referring to as the category of employees that they had been explaining in the meeting?
Okay.
LLG
I've got it. I think I did read in terms of the description of how it should be done, the types of employees, the types of employees that they need to categorize. I've read that in terms of the legal opinion. So we're referring to that basically. That they need to redo their...
Can you please just restate that category for clarity?
Employees who acquired criminal conviction prior to employment.
And can I just clarify that you're on page 2044?
2044,
paragraph
4.
Okay, if you are referring to that longish list, it's fine. You don't need to. Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Now, your email was on 5 April at 1:46 p.m. The next email is from Julius Mkhwanazi, and that's on the same day at 4:21 p.m. And he responds, although your email was addressed to Chief Mapiye and Deputy Chief Spis, Julius Mkhwanazi responds directly to the email and says, "Good afternoon, colleagues," responding directly to you. "I have set up a team within operation to verify the fingerprints as submitted to us by Deputy Chief Revo Spis and Deputy Director Vanda van Rooyen. We've discovered that this is the old criminal record data. Some of the people on no retirement, I'm not sure what that means, cleared by the courts resigned." And then he says, "I suggest we start the process of verification afresh so we get the correct data of criminal record for every employee. As the HOD was explaining, this is going to affect the whole city. It will be wise if we start with the correct and clean data as operations we're combat ready to start the process since we're the most affected one according to this old criminal record." So if I understand correctly, he's saying this data is not accurate. Some of it is incorrect. We need to start from scratch. And because it's my section that is most affected according to the existing data, let my section take responsibility for checking getting proper fingerprints. Is that a fair summary of what he is saying?
That was my understanding as well, Chair. Thank you.
You then responded the following day, and that is at page 2064. And you respond to his letter on Saturday, the 6th of April, 7 in the morning. "Please note this is your EMPD process and I concur that it must be done seamlessly. To ensure accuracy at all times, employees must be vetted and a final outcomes report must ensure that the data provided is correct, current, accurate, valid and reliable and legally and relevant. Legally, all the correct processes and SOPs must be observed and adhered to. Please keep the accounting officer and HR informed of the process to embark upon and timeframes by rather providing a comprehensive report to this whole process where possible." So do you want to explain your response here?
Thank you, Chair. My response is exactly what I've said yesterday and today, Chair, that I've said in our meeting, it's their process. They've got capacity. They assist the city anyway. They must run with it. And we already provided guidance in terms of how it should be done and so forth. And all we need is a seamless process. And obviously, Chief is leading the department. And my communique specifically, it talks to the Chief and the senior management, but specifically to the Chief. And eventually, based on our agreement previously, was that it keep us informed as we embark on the process, because once it's concluded, then it also determines the labor relations processes that we must commence with, and be able to assist them where HR gets to start to be involved. Thank you.
Then there seems to have been a delay of a full year, because the next email in the chain is at page 2063, the middle of the page. And it's Sunday, April the 6th, but now it's 2025, not 2024. And you write to Julius Mkhwanazi saying, "Dear Acting Chief, this is the issue the councillor is referring to. We need to act on this before they use it against HR and EMPD." And below, what you're doing is you are forwarding your last email of 6 April 2024, exactly a year ago. The "Dear colleagues, please note this is your EMPD process." So it seems to me, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, that what had happened is that the matter had sometime later been raised in council, closer to April the 6th, 2025. And at that point, you went back to Julius Mkhwanazi and said, "We need to act on this. If we don't, they're going to use it against our departments. The councillors are going to take action against our departments." Is that correct?
If I recall events, it might not have necessarily been the council meeting, but where we report majority of our issues is at OCMOL. So it might have been the OCMOL, the structure I've discussed yesterday.
Sorry, can you just explain that structure?
Is the oversight of the executive, mayor, and legislature offices committee. So they've been following up on majority of EMPD issues. I think that's where we get to engage about EMPD issues. I think it could have been Councillor Berg. It was where it was discussed. And it was not for the first time. They kept on discussing these issues. And where it would have been in council as well, it would have been the EMPD, MMC Community Safety, that would have been responded. So it became an ongoing matter that needed to be resolved. So my aim of the meeting was to say, can this happen? Can you follow up on my email that was sent to you guys a year ago? Thank you, Chair.
And were there any other communications in relation to this issue between yourself and Mr. Mkhwanazi in the intervening year?
After this one?
No. Between April 2024 and April 2025.
Directly so, I'm not, it might have been verbal, but where we have been meeting and discussed these issues, it was in the OCMOL. As I said, OCMOL kept on following up that EMPD get this process done. I don't sit in their executive management meeting. I wasn't sure what was happening there, but in the OCMOL, all of us will be sitting there. So it will be discussed that it must happen. And I was also trying to emphasize that time is running. Why is this not happening? Thank you.
That seems to be the last email in the chain, because
Yes.
the next email is on page 2071, which is just your own personal email where you
Yes.
have sent the email chain for filing. Is there anything you would want to add further in relation to this topic? Because from my side, I'm happy, well, I mean, I will come back to ask you questions, but that from my side seems to conclude the initial process of just taking you through the emails.
I'm comfortable so far. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, that concludes the process of leading the witness. So I'm afraid now the questions get a bit more intrusive. And maybe we can start.
So maybe before you start, there was also the issue of the tender. What has been decided about that?
And
Because
I've given a list of references that I'm
Okay,
going
so
to
you'll
refer to.
still
And in
come
fact,
back.
I'm proposing to start right there. So, can I ask you to go to page 168 of the supplementary? Two of two.
Thank you so much.
168.
Got it. Can you mention the page again?
168.
Apologies for that. 168.
6168.
168. Thank you, Chair.
And there you'll see a document saying bids are hereby invited for the following: Human Resources Department, Strategic HR and Talent Management, Contract PSHR 13 of 2023, the appointment of accredited skills development providers to implement various qualification and skills programs on an as and when required basis from date of award till 30 June 2026. And the closing date is 24 July 2023. The foot of the page, you'll see that that invitation is issued in the name of Dr. Mkhwanazi. Did she play any role in this process?
In its entirety, or the advertising process?
Well, in advertising the bid or the bid more broadly?
I don't think so, because the advertising from the process, my understanding, the HR will draft the specification, and then the specification will be taken to the bid specification committee for endorsement. The only role that the city manager will play is to appoint the committee. In fact, all the committees, the bid specification committee, the bid evaluation committee, and the bid education committee, that's her role. And the main stakeholders, it will be the chairperson and the whole committee of the bid specification committee. I wouldn't know 100% of the supply chain processes, Chair, if it goes to her for signing or not. Normally, HODs, they don't get involved in the tender processes, so it would be very difficult to give every detail. One area I think should be involved is to appoint the committee. Thank you so much.
If we go up to